As we all know, the draft starts in Mobile, and this year, nothing different with the Panini Senior Bowl just taking place this past weekend. And to talk about it, we got a special guest, somebody very special to me, helped me get to where I am, a pro in his own right, Greg Moore, man. So,
Thank you,
gee,
bro.
welcome to the show. First of all, just tell us how it was in Mobile and just kind of tell the people, what your involvement is with the Senior Bowl.
All right, so this is year four. Would have been five, but last year I took the spring off, really and the fall because I became a head coach here in Memphis, and so I kind of wanted to, not put all my eggs in one basket, but I wanted to give those kids the very best that I thought of me, and that starts with the amount of time that you can give to it. Because before last fall, I was clipping up like maybe 13 games a fall, and that's night games on Thursday nights here in Memphis if they had one, or Friday night in Memphis if we didn't have a game. And then I'd be on the road, and sometimes I'd do two games on Saturday. Like if Ole Miss had an 11 o'clock game, I'd do like the first hour or so, and then I hit the road if Vandy got a game up in Nashville. So you kind of learn the road, bro. Like you kind of learn the road when you in that space. And I actually got in. I think that was a year after COVID. That was 21, I think. Um, we had an HBCU combine, and I actually reached out and just tried to be like a fly on the wall for the HBCU combine. And then the DFO at the time is from Memphis, so I reached out. I was like, "Man, can I just be a fly on the wall?" And he was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Matter of fact, give me a couple of days." So he reached back out to me and was like, "Can you get off of work for 13 days?" And I'm like, "That's not a question." I was like, "All right, cool, yeah, bet." And so it went from me covering the HBCU combine, and I think that day it was 3 days. It was 3 days. It was Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and it went straight into the Senior Bowl. So I went from covering the HBCU combine to having a group. Um, I think I got the American group that first year, and that was like Jalen Tolbert and all of them in that group. I think that was year one, if I'm not mistaken. That was Christian Watson, Romeo Dubs, that group. That was that year.
Yeah.
And then by the next year, they did the Scout and Apprentice program, and I was able to get into that because at the end of every Senior Bowl, we had to do like our evaluations, and I created a template, and the template kind of stuck. So I think it kind of showed my worth in that regard. And so that next fall, like I was on the road, and most of us had like a lead scout with us, but I was on the road by myself, so I kind of feel like they kind of respected my eye for it. And then I became the guy that cross-checked all the receivers. Well, not all the receivers, but like the bulk of them. Like I cross-checked Puka. I cross-checked Mingo. I cross-checked Tank Dell was a big one for me because I kind of stood on the table for him. So a lot of the names that came down there and really did good because a lot of the Senior Bowl is one-on-ones, and if you can come down there and win one-on-ones at a high clip, it kind of improves your draft stock. Now, of course, like the entire process, like the stuff behind the scenes that people don't see is like the major factors. But as far as football goes, for an edge rusher or for a receiver, like if you can dominate one-on-ones, you kind of help your draft stock a lot.
Yeah, for
So
real.
that was my journey with the Senior Bowl, and I kind of just got back in, which was a blessing in disguise because Jim went and took the GM job at OU, and then we got a new executive director who didn't know me, and so our DFO reached out and I got back in, which is great, bro, because I really didn't know what was next. Um, I tried to get in a couple other games, but man, with them games, man, you got to know somebody, and I wasn't mad at it. Um, and the fact that I didn't get into another game and then ended back up with the Senior Bowl kind of says, a lot because the Senior Bowl is like the cream of the crop.
The top one for sure.
Yeah,
About to say East West
yeah,
Shrine.
yeah,
I believe I'm leaving it now. Yeah, you got in with the cream of the crop. And like to
yeah.
talk with Nick a little bit before, I said doing a little research, seeing that the Scout and Apprentice program, it's not a lot of like high school coaches that involved in the Senior Bowl on a regular basis. My college OC Mark Frederick, I think he was actually down there last year with the Senior Bowl. But like I said, you're definitely in a just you're in a one percentile position, being a guy that is not coaching at a college, being so involved in the Senior Bowl process and the amount of responsibility. Sound like they.
Yeah.
So talk to me a little bit about just we talked a little bit of, like we chatted a little bit about coaches be trying to get this stuff off too, because it's it's a badge of honor for them. So what kind of
Right.
like personal development do you get from, like you said, working like especially that amount of years in the Senior Bowl? And what does something like this do in terms of like a launching pad for your career going forward?
I really didn't use it for a luncheon pad for my personal career. So when I first got in it, I really was just trying to create opportunities for the guys around me, like Nic and all of them. I wanted to be in a space where my opinion could be appreciated as far as getting them guys opportunities. And then when we had a son back in 23, it became, how do I stay in this space and network in this space so that my son's journey through this process, if he chooses to do it, is easier than mine? Because I had no clue. Like, I had no clue. Like, navigating football after college, I had no idea. Of course, like, my strength coach was a former pro, but he played D-line. So, of course, he could give me, like, the business side, like, in totality, but he
Mm-hmm.
couldn't necessarily give me the business side for my position, because business for a receiver is a little bit different than business for a quarterback or for a kicker, if that makes sense.
For sure.
Yeah.
And so right now, like, I'm in the space to learn as much as I can, and of course to help as many Memphis kids as I can. But then selfishly, I'm also still in it to help my son when it's his time, because like I know information is like super important. So the more information that you have, the better it'll be for whoever or whomever you're trying to help. So, man, I'm in it trying to help my boy. And I ain't got no problem with saying it, dog. Like, I want the process. As a matter of fact, man, I was talking to a good friend of mine that's a scout for the Colts, and he asked me about Lil Greg. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
even though that's something small, but like, man, you got personnel asking about your son. This man ain't done nothing yet. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man, I'm in it for that. To help Memphis, of course, first and foremost, but then in a grander scheme, like if my son decide he want to play football, he's not going to be a long snapper. Like, chances are it's going to be one of the positions that I coach and train. So I want him to have a leg up.
Come on now, it's February. We love black nepotism. Come on now.
For
Come
real.
on, come on,
The
come
white
on.
Now.
folks been getting away with it for way too long, way too long. See the
And
goddamn saying.
I don't even think it's not wrong with it. I just think in our community, like the way we came up, like was ingrained in our DNA. We got that, figure it out on your own. I had to do it. Why don't you do it? Type deal. And man, that's lame. Like, we got to kill that. So what? We made it easier for the next person.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
for real. Like it's like what I'm doing up here covering like wrestling, which is working a new muscle for me. It's all legacy. You nothing but the 5 or 6 matches I've been to. You got the coach's son is on the team. The head coach is following the granddad that was there for 20, 30 years. So no, like it's legacy, and it's like you said, they've been getting off with it for a long time, and it's not even necessarily something that they said when Braun does it. It definitely loses some of that I would say negative connotation that it may have had before. So now keep trekking for your little boy, man. It's a long term
For
thing.
real.
Just too high. So you got a couple of decades in the game for you can make it pay out of his process for him.
Yeah. I
Man, it's
mean,
all good. I'm gonna be in it.
kind of as you alluded to, I remember back when I was a senior in college, you tried to help me get in the game. I
Mm-hmm.
graduated, didn't know what I was gonna do. And, I've been locked in with you since a senior in high school, shit, 6, 7+ years now. And so, you're a true testament to helping the community, helping those around you, those in your circle. But you kind of brought up something earlier that I thought was really interesting, kind of the business side of it, the part that people don't see. People see the one-on-ones,
Yeah.
people see the game, people see all the drills, the tweets and things that come out throughout the week. But kind of talking about some of the other things that go on at the Senior Bowl, can you just kind of talk about like how important those like I don't even want to say backroom, but those conversations and just the day to day is for guys, trying to get to that next opportunity.
Yeah. So meetings are really big at the Senior Bowl, whether it's you meeting with your position group or like they try to make it as close to the league as possible. So guys get like an introduction to it. So you team meeting, specialist meeting, position group meeting, offensive, defensive meeting, that type deal. But then other than that, like you got pullouts where you like meet with individual teams by yourself, right? So those meetings are important. And then we also have like this speed dating type thing. They put a timer on, and you meet with these programs, or I'm sorry, you meet with these franchises, and it's normally 1-to-1, but this year for the first time, we did 2 franchises per 1 interview. So me and Josh might be a team, and Nic, you're the player, and we're 2 different teams, but both of us are interviewing you at the same time. And so that was different. That was different for me. Just seeing that because, like I said, we've always done the 1-to-1 thing, and the 2-to-1 thing kind of worked. Like we got out of there kind of quicker. Both teams kind of sat down and had the questions that they were gonna have. So it was cool. It was cool. So that's big. The guys had to take psych evaluations this year. So just being present, like not having nobody having to reach out and find you, like, man, where is Nic at? He's supposed to be here at 9:45. He's not here. And then now they calling me and I got to call you. Like that goes into like that character piece. Like everybody in the world watches the one-on-ones and the team and the 707 and all of that stuff. But when they reach out to the person that's of your group or your group leader and ask them like, was this guy accountable? Did he give you any problems? Does it seem like he loves football? And aside from like height, weight, speed, like the normal stuff, like that's one of the biggest questions. Like if they ask about character first, and then they ask like, does this guy love football? And so you would want to be on the side of the guy that loves football than not.
And that's crazy you
that's
say
hell of a
that.
dynamic for sure. Them 2-on-1s. I'm just thinking because like I hearing you talk, I didn't know it was that. I mean, it sounds like essentially the combine with pads on. But I'm just thinking of a situation we got some division rivals, Pittsburgh and Baltimore on the same prospect. You might got a little swap of information, maybe trying to play it cool with a particular prospect you like. So that's hell of a dynamic.
They were smart with how they paired the teams.
Okay, man.
Yeah, it wasn't that. Nah, you ain't gonna have Pittsburgh and Baltimore doing nothing together.
I'm about to say, yeah, nah.
No. And Pittsburgh and New England neither. Like, they did a good job of pairing the teams.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, but kind of, talking about just how important this process is, and kind of starting with, a guy that rose up the ranks recently in Ty Montgomery, kind of as we get into this game and the weekend. Ty Montgomery, a D3 guy from John Carroll. Obviously, you spoke to the importance of relationships. A guy who balled out at the Shrine game, gets invited to the Senior Bowl. Can you just kind of talk about, his rise throughout the week and some other guys, that you saw put up some big time performances throughout the week?
So I'm a small school guy, just like yourself. You know what I mean? And he actually got the opportunity from the American Bowl. He went down there and put on the clinic. But I think even more so than his performance and what he did in the facility, and he was great in the facility too. Like aside from those 2 things, like hearing his story, he was a basketball guy that walked on during COVID at LSU. It didn't work out. Then he ended up at Nicholls State or something like that, I think, and playing flag football. And in the backyard, his brother, running around playing football. And then the flag football thing happened and didn't want to go to the Olympics to mess up his eligibility. So then he goes and plays at John Carroll. And I forgot how he came up with John Carroll, but he ends up at John Carroll. I think he had 13 or 15 touchdowns year 1, and then something similar year 2. So you're talking about a guy that scored 30 touchdowns in a football career, and he was a basketball player.
Nice.
And so a lot of franchises are looking at him like a blank canvas. Now, of course, like as far as movement goes, like a lot of those basketball movements correlate. But I think knowing when to use them and why to use them, like that's going to be big for his development. But I also think that his explosiveness is crazy. Like, dude is crazy. Ty Montgomery is so filthy, bro. Like, he closed out day 1. He closed out 2 periods with explosive plays, like back to back. The 1-on-1 period and the 7-on-7 period. Like, he just gets off the ground so easy. And I'm gonna talk to the receivers first because I spent the entire week with the wideouts and I had both groups. So Ty Montgomery, Barryon Brown. Barryon Brown give me some Jalen Reed, Stephon Diggs type.
Mm-hmm.
He got the mentality, bro. Like, that man walked up to the line and literally told the DB coach, I dreamed about this shit last night. And then when it made the play. Now, honestly, DB made a really good play, but Barryon Brown just did a really good job of getting his body in the way and, like, boxing out for the ball. So Barryon Brown, too. I'm a taller guy, so Reggie Virgil. Day one, the mentality from Texas Tech. And then CD that was down there from Texas Tech. Bigger guy
Philip
too.
Douglas, yeah.
Mentality, bro. Mentality. I like Cameron from Baylor.
Shout out my boy JC. Come on now.
Yeah, told y'all from in pre-production, like that body type. Like you can't coach that. You know, he got the height and he's burly and he can move. Like that just give you so much versatility in the offense. Fields from Notre Dame.
He was
I
the one
like,
that
He had a hell of a
popped a
week.
lot on the
Yeah.
one-on-ones that I saw.
yeah, they said, he had some issues with drops during the season. I didn't watch him a whole lot, but down in Mobile, he did really good. Taylor Green extended the play one time. It was middle close. I don't know what happened to the safety. It started out middle close, pocket breaks down, Fields leaks out to the middle of the field, downfield. Taylor let one ride, and this dude dove and caught it. That was like the play of the day. Like, matter of fact, we were arguing about who had the play of the day because Ty Montgomery had a jump ball on the back line of the end zone, and then you had Fields that had that downfield diving post. I said Fields, that catch was difficult, like difficulty. Like that one was way harder. I like Jacoby Lane's frame. I would have liked to seen a little bit more from him.
Yeah, he definitely
But he
struggled.
got some shit that you can't coach too, though. So I like him. Yeah. Colin Lacey,
Hey.
smooth, like super. He don't like waste a lot of movement at all. I like him. Um, I don't want to miss nobody. Oh my God, Vincent Anthony was quiet. Like, how somebody have like 30, and you'd be like, man, I ain't even see that 30.
Yeah.
He had like a sneaky 30.
Mm.
Yeah, he had a real sneaky 30. He'll a good ball player. He don't talk a lot. He didn't make a whole lot of noise like vocally, and that may be
Mhm.
why it slipped through the crack. Yeah, on some Brandon Lloyd type shit, like
Oh wow.
sneaky dominant. Yeah, that was my group. Them was the guys that stood out to me the most, and I hope I didn't miss nobody. Cameron, Brown, Fields, Lacey. Oh, my guy from Boston College.
Yeah.
He actually reminds me a little bit of a blend of like you and Dedrick a little bit, but he ain't vocal like y'all though. Like
Mm.
he came in, I think, at like 5'10", 5'11", but that man made plays though. Like he made a lot of plays. And like he just knows, like you can tell how he runs his routes, like he knows timing and spacing. Like one time he had like a corner route. The DB was on his upfield shoulder, and he just kind of controlled the route until the break point, and then just wrapped the DB and ran right under the ball. It was beautiful. So, yeah, I like him too.
Mm.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah. If I had to do a top three though, Virgil from Texas Tech would definitely be in it.
Mm.
Lacey would be in it. Colin Lacey would be in it,
Okay.
and then I'd probably go Cameron at three.
Before we cut out, it's a thing that me and Nick go back and forth all the time. And with the ball note that I wanted to ask you, we go back and forth all the time about just different receiver body types.
Yeah.
Me, I'm a proponent of the old school traditional 2010s big body X receiver, your Drake Londons, your Julio
Yeah.
Joneses.
Oh, this is awesome.
And Nick is
This is
always
awesome.
more of a separator. Chase, Jefferson, JSN now guy.
Yeah, this is awesome.
We got to go back and forth about which
This
one
is
is more
awesome.
effective. I
This
think
is perfect.
right now, when
This
you
is
look at the
perfect.
league, Luka, JSN, even Jamar, he's clearly up in terms of what's working in the league right now. But from your perspective, because in the guys you name, you had a variety of different body types. And
Right.
we even talked about Jacoby Lane and versus Malachi Field, two taller guys, but I see
Right.
Fields a taller guy that runs routes like a smaller guy.
Yeah.
So what's your feeling on, like you said, the optimal body prototyping? Do you think one particular archetype works more or less better in a camp setting like this?
So I actually had this conversation with two of my high school guys. They said that smaller receivers are better than taller ones. And so I was like, all right, cool. Let's do it. So I said, y'all give me a list of small receivers that y'all feel like are like the best receivers ever, right? Or just I just told them, just give me your best small receiver. So they gave me a list. And then I gave them my list. And then they told me after reading the first 3 names on my list that I was cheating. So it
Cheating
kind
how?
of
Was this all
Who's the
time or
first
like
three
this?
names on
I'm
your
about to
list?
say, is this in the league right now? Now I'm curious.
it's all time.
Oh, bro, Jerry Rice won 6 foot. We got that. Come on
Jerry
now.
Rice was 6 foot. Take Jerry. You can have Jerry. You can have
Like,
Jerry.
come on, bro.
Without Jerry, my first 3 would still be Randy, T.O., Megatron. If you wanted to take Megatron out, you could put Larry Fitzgerald in there.
No, exactly. And then like Jerry Rice, he separated, but he was running a very in the post and going to.
What are we doing?
Bigger receivers just give an offense more.
And this is your boy.
Wait, hold
Vic.
on,
You
hold
know
on,
what
hold
I'm
on.
saying?
We
This is
putting
your
Larry
dog,
Fitz
man.
over AV? This is crazy. It's
Bro.
crazy.
No. AB is not a big receiver though.
Okay.
We weren't talking
yeah.
about we weren't talking about all of the receivers all time. They said smaller receivers like 5'11" and down
Yeah.
have been traditionally like
Andre
better
Johnson,
receivers.
like,
Okay.
bro,
I feel you now. I feel you now. I feel you now.
Yeah,
But
no, if we saying
yeah.
top 5, honestly, if we saying top 5, like AB probably had the best 6-7 year run probably ever, other than Jay Rice.
Yeah.
And if AB don't run into the trouble he runs into, he may be the closest. He might be the one that could have gotten closest to Rice because it's 22,000 some change from Rice, and then I think number 2 is either T.O. or Fitzgerald, and it's like 15 or 16. So
it's Larry Fisher like 17, 4, 2. Let me see what Antonio Brown said.
yeah, dog, it's a big ass drop between Rice and number 2. But yeah, so you said for one-on-ones?
I mean one-on-ones and then like in the league, what works. Because it's a little different dynamic.
If you're saying one-on-ones in Mobile, I don't think there's ever been a more dominant performance than Tank Dell. And sure. I've been watching the Senior Bowl since I was in high school. I can remember watching the Senior Bowl with my pops, like watching practice, watching the game, the whole shit, watching it with my dad when I was in high school. And as one Coach Dubs, y'all know who Coach Keith Williams is? Coach Dubs, he used to coach at Nebraska. He was an assistant receiver coach with the Ravens, and he's the receiver coach right now with the Saints. So I met him down there this week, and he compared Tank Dell's Senior Bowl one-on-one tape to Tavon Austin's high school tape. He said culturally, like as far as like hood classics, because Tavon's high school highlights is like a hood classic for sure. He said as far as hood classics go, he said Tank's one-on-ones at Senior Bowl is a hood classic. And I agree. I honestly agree.
No, that's for sure. Because like even right now, I still go back and watch that when I'm trying to figure out, some new sauce to add to my game or whatever. I'm watching Tank Dell Senior Bowl, like you said, and before every game I ever play, I'm watching that only one Tavon highlight tape on YouTube. That's like for surely. So in terms of hood classics, they both definitely double platinum, whatever you want to call it, certified.
For sure. But and the fact that man came down there and did that in 2 days, crazy.
Yeah, facts. And said I'm done.
So dominance. I personally haven't seen one because I was down there and we had DBs that didn't want to go against him. Ooh. Like it'll be like a rotation, and man, we were talking about that this past weekend. Coach Dubs and I, like, it was guys that was pushing other guys ahead of them. Like, nah, bro, I don't want no part of that shit. Like,
that's crazy in an all-star setting.
Because I mean, he was sitting people
look
down,
at it
bro.
for
like,
yeah.
As soon as you guess that he's going one way, it's just. If he wasn't beating you at the line, he was beating you at the top of the route. And dude just had a crazy week. And had he not injured his groin, he would have been there for a third day.
Doing the same shit.
Doing the same shit, bro. Doing the same shit. So, but in the league, though, I just think in the league, traditionally, they've done more and done better with bigger guys. Now, you're starting to see bigger guys kind of fizzle out a little bit now. Not really though, because AJ Brown is a bigger guy.
Yes. Even not being 6'4", you're a big body,
physical. Yeah,
yeah. They gonna count Chase as a bigger guy. Like,
and he always been a hard one to classify. For me, he like always right on that line, a big body, and you know what I'm saying.
But Jettas, they wouldn't count Jettas as a small guy.
I think it's less to do with like body, like highway speed measurements. because I consider Pickens a separator if he's like 6'4". So it's more so
so
just
y'all going by
how you get your wins essentially.
y'all going downfield versus possession, or y'all going like how we like what
I
is
mean,
what's
that
the
sounds a little
criteria?
linear, but essentially down for guys that like win jump balls, catch points versus guys
Oh
that
well,
separate.
shit. The separator's gonna always win because if you can't separate, then you're not gonna be considered a receiver one.
Mm.
And
So
I
yeah, go
think a
ahead.
good example to like kind of put our argument into context, like me and Josh's argument was last year with the Seahawks. Like Josh was a guy who was like, "Oh, they losing DK. That receiver room
For
finna be
sure.
shit. Sam Donald ain't got
No,
no
no,
tools." And I'm over
Oh,
here
damn,
banging the
bro.
table like you need to know about JSN. Like he finna dominate. So I think that right there kind of encapsulates, what me and Josh's argument was in a sense.
I didn't think DK fit the scheme. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Mhm.
And I also feel like DK underachieves for his body type.
He does. I was about to say he's not.
Definitely.
He's definitely more of a downfield like vertical threat than a catch point guy with that frame. So you're definitely right.
Honestly, and this is gonna be a terrible take, probably. Um, dude carries weight really good. He should just add maybe 5 to 10 more talent, 10 pounds and bump in and be a big slot.
Mm. Okay, this kind of goes right into this because I've seen in the past where they have some of the linebackers go out there with like the receiver 1-on-ones, but I wanted to pose that question to you about some of the bigger body guys like a guy like Dan Villari that I covered
It
while I was
won't it
in
won't work for
Syracuse.
Lane. Lane's frame won't support it. Like he's really skinny. Like he's more like and I'm not saying skill set. His frame is more like a Randy Moss frame, where it's just like you get what you get. And then they told me Fields played at like 225, 230, but he showed up in Mobile at
Shit.
218.
I'm about to say he did not look like that on tape.
That's
I
what I
And
always
was
saw
about to
so
like
say. He ain't look
210.
225 at all.
they said he played at 225, 230, but in Mobile he was at 218. So he like and I said that about him. I'm like, man, if he plays at 225, 230, he could probably put on about 5 more pounds and be a big slot. And that shit would make his career last so much longer than being an X or a Z and you trying to goddamn find your way.
Yeah.
Right. So kind of like a Brandon Waller, bro. Like if Waller would have stayed a receiver, bro, that shit would have fizzled out a long ass time ago. But moved in the big slot, played some tight end too. Like now you're looking at a guy that gives an offense like incredible range. So yeah, that Seattle fucking receiver group, bro. It's Cooper Kupp and bro, come on, bro. You know what the hell going on in Seattle, bro. That room tough.
I'm like I said, as a traditionalist, especially all this too high to all these guys run. I just still, I fall back on the football I grew up watching up. Like, hey, like you said, you haven't created a lot of separation, but you got that corner on, you got that safety coming over the top. There's something to be said about being able to come down with, being able to have trust in the guy throwing the ball when he's not open, knowing that he can out physical and out jump that guy.
Yeah.
That's the most fun. Like it's just the kind of debate we have between like the dunk in the mid range versus the three in the NBA now. One is definitely more efficient and one is definitely more optimized for the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love going to watch Julio go snag away jump ball from Malcolm Butler versus, oh my
I
God,
knew you was
TNT.
finna
But
say that.
man, but
He
DBs are
separated the
bigger now
top of the
too,
routes.
though.
So that's what I like to watch, man. You know
But
what I'm saying?
DBs are a lot bigger now too, though. So
Yeah.
like that dynamic of having the
Yeah, that's
traditional
true.
big body receiver going against a 5'9", 5'10" DB, even a 5'11" DB, like that dynamic was different. You got Tyreek Woolen that's damn 6'3" and 4'29", 4'30" guy. Like that's
Long ass
what you
arms
got
too.
at corner. You know what I mean? Like, and he's not the only one. Like you got guys that are 6'1", 6'2", 6'3" playing corner now. So yeah, I think that traditional big body receiver being super dominant. I ain't saying it's over, but sure. Like I said, other than AJ Brown right now, like Mike Evans, but Mike Evans is like the OG, which is
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, Drake and London. You got Drake and
Yeah,
London
that's
in
what I was finna
Atlanta.
say. Drake London
Drake
had a year this
London,
year.
yeah, Drake London. But it's like with Drake London, it's been so hard to see his potential with like the dismal like quarterback play down there, bro. Like I want Drake London to be crazy, and I think he still went for 1,000 this year. But I just think he has such an incredible ceiling that's not being used right now. It's crazy.
No, that's facts. And kind of as we was talking about Montgomery earlier, he another converted basketball guy, and you can kind of see that with the way he get up with some of the separation he does have. I
Yeah,
think that's something he doesn't get a lot of credit for creating separation. But you kind of hit on something earlier, and kind of getting back to the Senior Bowl itself. DBs are getting bigger. But we saw one corner in specific, and as a Duke fan, I'm gonna throw it out there. Chandler Rivers, a guy who was 5'8", 5'9". I think
yeah.
he really impressed over the course of the weekend and through the one-on-ones. So can you kind of, I don't know how much you watched him, but can you kind of speak to, his performance throughout the week and some of the eyes he might have caught being
That
a
might.
smaller guy?
So he did come in at 5'09", 185. He was our smallest corner. I think so. So I like to break it down by the day. So like day one on both groups, like you were able to see guys' technique, but they were like really handsy. And so the first day, if y'all watched it, even on YouTube, I hope somebody got like full clips. It was a lot of flags being thrown because like
Sure.
guys were just overly handsy. And so the referees were literally saying, we got to coach these guys up. So that's why they're throwing the flags. Right.
Mhm.
And some of these guys come from college where, they allow you to be a little bit more handsy, especially at practice. Like they let you get your shit off. But in the league, they're going to throw it. And so day one, they taught them a whole lot by throwing the flags. But then by day two, you saw some of those guys emerge, and he definitely was one of them. I liked his patience. I liked that he knew how to use his hands and when to use his hands. And he made a play on a jump ball and punched the ball out like at the last second. So, and I forgot who that was against. I want to say that was against one of the bigger receivers. I'm gonna have to go back and watch them ones, but I don't want. I want to say it was Lane.
Mm.
Was they Lane? Were they on the same? Nope, they weren't even in the same group. So it had to be one of the Texas Tech guys. But they were on the way down with the
Yeah.
ball,
Douglas and Virgil. Yeah,
and
both of
he
them guys.
came. He came right through the hands. So, with DBs, we didn't have anybody out of position this year. Like sometimes you'll see a guy where it's like, oh, he ain't got no business like
Hmm.
down here. But then sometimes a guy like Montgomery will show up and be like, damn. But as far as DBs go, I'm trying to think. We had one guy that got turned around one time, and it was bad. And I won't mention his name because I don't want to kill nobody's. I don't have no telling who gonna watch this, so I don't want to kill nobody. But he got turned around pretty bad in one-on-ones. But then after that, like he made a play. He made the first play of the team period the next day.
Mm.
And he played well in the game. So man, it's just man, and some of that stuff like when we got to the trenches, like we talked about that in pre-production, like sometimes you have coaches teaching guys something that they ain't never done or never used. And so then they get blown up and then it's like, this is a clip of the week and yada, yada, yada. And man, nobody even recognizes that the guy went out and I think he damn near didn't lose a one-on-one rep after that, like at left tackle or right tackle.
Yeah.
And so you got guys trying out new skill sets or new additives to their game. And then it's like, it's uncomfortable. And then you go to one-on-ones and the cameras everywhere and you get beat. And then everybody want to talk about how bad you look. And, man, I just want people to like, don't get lost on the hoopla. Don't get lost on like, if it's a great rep because yeah, it's a great rep. But then if you continue to watch the rest of the week, then you kind of see some of those guys' confidence come through and growing more comfortable with the skill set that they've been taught and getting more comfortable with the play itself and the environment and all of that stuff. And that's just like the league too, man. You go in there, bro, you bright eyed as hell, but like the more you do it, like the more you feel at home and the confidence grows, you get more comfortable and all that stuff. So the week of Mobile is like really big for guys because they get a taste of what the NFL is like. Now, I know I
One
went
thing,
on a tangent, but they kind of just
but
spilled to each other.
this your show, bro. Like I said, we just like I said, you knocking out the corner, we just giving you the assist and
Yeah.
talking about that, kind of talking about something like Nick said, talking about the background stuff, the stuff that we necessarily don't see on the field. How much? What is that dynamic of coaching these guys up, installing essentially the system that you all have versus letting the talent that they had come here, kind of play themselves out. And what is the reality versus the perception of a guy's stock improving or sliding in this week versus, like I said, like I said, you're gonna get winners and losers, risers and fallers on any number of publications after the Senior Bowl. But is it that is the movement in the stack is it that drastic a drop or a bump based on the performance this week?
So yeah, it is a drastic bump either up or down. Because like I said, like you got the meetings and stuff. Like if you bomb the meetings, then that'll kill your draft stock.
And nothing
Uh,
off field, you've already lost the week.
I mean, yeah, because essentially, like you got okay. So again, like you're a franchise and I'm a franchise, and Nick is the player, right? So you and I are essentially investing millions of dollars. If he's a first or second round guy, we are investing millions of dollars into the enterprise or the player that is Nick Hayes, right? So if we're willing to invest this money into Nick, then shit, Nick better show up and be everything that we expect him to be. You know what I mean? And if he's not, if it doesn't fit what we're, then that's when all right, you may have been a fourth round guy or a third round guy, and you done bumped down to 5 or 6 or 7. You know what I mean? Or you came in and there was some questions. Because y'all know, like I know, man, like sometimes college coaches they can be pushing their own agendas and can kind of screw guys over, bro. Like
High
just,
talent. It is what it
you know
is.
what I mean? And so at these all-star games, sometimes that's an opportunity for the player themselves to like put your face and your voice in front of somebody and create the narrative for yourself, like without somebody trying to push their own about you. So I've seen guys' character help them. I've seen, like we talked about Tank Dell earlier, showed up, did 2 days, and it kind of pushed his, draft stock through the roof. I mean, we've had other guys that ended up being first rounders based off of, what they did in Mobile. And it wasn't like it was only Mobile, but it was like the tape and the perception going in. And then, of course, like the projection. Then you get to Mobile and you make plays against another really good player. And then you kill the interviews and all of that stuff. Like, all that stuff matters. But, yeah, for sure.
I think
Um,
Nick in my war, the safety at Seattle. I think he was down there last year. He was a guy I know that was a big riser in the post draft, the post regular season process. I think he was down there with y'all.
yeah. I didn't go last year. I didn't even watch it last year. I took like I said, I took last year off. I wish I didn't know because I heard that receivers group was pretty good. But shoot, man, I took the year off, man. All 4 of my kids that wanted to go to college signed on signing day, so it was a win, dog.
Yeah,
High school recruiting is so fucked right now, bro. It's crazy.
And I'm glad you said that because I kind of wanted to talk about that through the Senior Bowl. You talked about, like some of the impact coaching has had on like some of these guys, who maybe don't get the opportunities that they deserve at their respective colleges. But now with the introduction of the transfer portal, and we're seeing guys, 2, 3, maybe even 4 different schools, and even now at the high school level, like I get on Instagram the other day, and Memphis has a high school transfer portal. So I'm like, where the hell are the coaches? Where is the actual development happening? So, with all of this change in the sense of scenery for these guys, different schools, just how developed is that finished project when they come to the Senior Bowl, on their way to the NFL?
I want to say the product is different, but it's not because before you had a lot of player movement, you had a lot of coach movement. So these guys weren't getting the same voice, the same concepts, the same EDDs every year because their guy may have been there the freshman and sophomore year and then bounced, or freshman year then bounced. Like as far as position coaches go, other than like a handful of guys, like most of the position guys move around a lot. So
now, unless it's not a top tier Big Ten SEC job, you're gonna get that for sure.
right. I think Brian Hartline was like one of the few receiver coaches that stayed with the same
Yeah.
program for a long time. You know what I
And
mean?
even
So
he ended up being OC that last year too. So
right,
yeah.
right. So I think that was gonna change anyway. But as far as like high school recruiting, and we talked about this, I talked with league personnel about this. Like high school movement nowadays is so bad that I think long term is going to really affect the game on the highest level because, like, you got in the state of Tennessee, like you got NIL is legal here. We have a transfer portal, but it's not really a transfer portal. It's just an opportunity for people. And we fell victim to it with our podcast at one point. Like it wasn't necessarily the portal. We were just talking about the kids that transferred because the bulk of the kids that transferred were like my East kids. And so we were just trying to give a spotlight to them guys to help them in their move. But yeah, bro, the transfer portal shit is crazy because right now, like, I just feel like kids are like really hell bent on transferring just so that they can be talked about, if that makes sense. Because
Yeah,
we
get a
now got,
graphic to throw on the gram and shit.
bro, yeah, like we got a
Committing
platform.
to another high school? Come on, bro.
Yeah, like, bro, we got a platform now that pushes the portal. Like, he'll have kids reach out to him and tell them, and I don't think he's requesting it, but kids are reaching out to him and saying, "Hey, I'm so and so. Here's a picture. I'm transferring to," you know what I mean? And then they get posted, and then people talk about it and post like their opinions, whether positive or negative. And I just don't think that helps high school football in our area. If anything, because I've had phone calls from coaches in like Middle and East Tennessee, like, if anything, it just makes us look crazy as hell because why are we posting that we are transferring? Like, that is the most incriminating stuff you could do. Like,
Good
dog,
word choice too.
I wouldn't be telling nobody where I'm going because number one, like, you have to be okay by your principal to transfer. Like, if you transferring and trying to play another sport, like trying to play a sport somewhere else. Like, I'm not putting that out nowhere to like to bring attention to myself. But I get it. Like, the generation is different. Coaches are different. These publications and platforms are different. So, I mean, it comes with it, but I don't have to agree with it. And I don't agree with it.
No, doing some coaching in, like I said, coaching in Lausanne, you know, like having some coaches that came from Middle and East Tennessee, it's sad to not bare bones. West Tennessee looked at the slice of the state that has the most talent but the least discipline. It's like unanimously looked at as like that. And I think some of that comes from the volatility in the movement.
I disagree with the discipline thing though.
And not character wise, I think that it just I'm not maybe underperforming relative to talent that's in West Tennessee, Memphis. Because like I said, I saw firsthand. We went up to Lausanne. We made it to the Final Four. And
we underperform though?
I think undoubtedly the year that like our senior year, Nick, to where we had what was that 4 Memphis teams at one state, it should be like that on a regular basis. Maybe not all.
No, it shouldn't.
Like, why not?
No, it shouldn't.
Nashville got all that money, guys.
Dog, y'all senior year.
Nashville, outside of NFL players coaching national high schools, the talent in Memphis and Nashville, it's not a big disparity. It's not.
So this is why I say it shouldn't be like that year. That year, talent was widespread. Like, Lausanne was good, Whitehaven was good, East was good, Tredgeland was good. That shit ain't gonna happen like that again. Like at East, like when I was there, yeah, we had some talented kids, but like it was a group of kids that we had kept together for 3 years. So it was like, I mean, 2 years. No, yeah, 2 years. And so it was kind of like sweat equity. Other than that, like, shit, Southwind always has a load of like a whole lot of kids. And that's kids just want to be there. Germantown always has a lot of kids. And that's just kids that want to be there. And so the point I'm trying to make it, and Houston was like that too. And so the point I'm making, like, it used to be those kids that were sitting on the bench and was playing JV and freshman was playing somewhere else and getting varsity minutes. Now, like, a lot of inner city schools barely got 25 kids, barely got 30 kids.
Yeah.
Now, some of it is kids are not playing football no more, but the large portion of it is the kids that do play football all want to go to the same team. So if you're saying we underdeliver or underperform, and you're talking about those schools that get all the kids, then I could roll with you a little bit. But not even then, because hell, Southwind just went to the quarterfinals. You know what I mean? So
got beat up by a non-Western. I think that you actually described it perfectly. I think that volatility, that inability to kind of stack recruiting classes, like I said, with all the movement, and West Tennessee, you still have that, and Knox and Nash. You still have those guys that, oh, my dad went to such and such high school, and I'm going to stay here. I may not play 9th and 10th grade, but I'm going to be a dog 11th and 12th grade. There's a lot more, like I said, there's a lot less movement, a lot more sedentary teams and tradition. Well, not tradition, but like there's a lot less volatility in the movement.
There's also a lot less schools too, though. If I'm in Dyersburg, where else can I go? Dyer County? That's one other option. You know what I mean? If I'm at Mumford, I could go south and go to freaking Millington, or I could go north and go to Brighton. But then beyond that, like, would I drive to Ripley or Covington? Hell no. And so a lot of it is now Ripley getting bled by damn Covington, but like a lot of it is we just got too many options. And we got too many. Like we got, and I ain't saying we got too many. We do kind of have too many schools. I think we just have too many schools that are close to each other, like in proximity. Like on Pablo, you got East, Mace, and White Station. That's a lot in a 3 or 4 block drive. Like that's a lot. And East Memphis, if you go Parkway Village first, you got Sheffield. Wooddale is right up the street, like literally right up the street. You got Kirby that's not far from Southwind or Ridgeway.
Yep.
You got Kirby that's also close as hell to Wooddale. Like we just got
Germantown too. Yep.
Yeah, proximity. We got too much in close proximity. And so that's some of it too, bro. Like you got and Bartlett, even though it's not a Memphis City school, man, Craig Munt is next door to Bartlett.
Real talk.
So just proximity, we just got too many schools in close proximity. And a lot of that is parent choice. Like parents got the choice now to send their kid where they want to send them. And so I understand some of that too. Like, man, if I could pick my kid, I want him to play football. Maybe he's not the best right now. If I could pick to send him to damn, and I'm not picking on Wooddale because their coach is my guy. He does a great job. He did a really good job in year 1. But if I could choose to send my son to Wooddale and make him play right now, and I know he's not ready, or send him to Southwind where there's hella coaches coming through there, and he can sit and wait his turn, and he can learn how to be a winner, then maybe I'll send him to Southwind. Now I don't think like that, but I could kind of understand that rationale.
I never thought about it like that. I know you said because it's something that's near and dear to my heart because Memphis and that is already a little whatever, but being close upon it, seeing the kids that's coming out there and seeing the kids that we're producing, I guess I don't see a big difference, but just the ecosystem and the development, it is a lot different. I think that's kind of leading to the variety of results. But I never thought about it the way that you put it.
Yeah. Now they definitely are more football ready than we are. And I don't think they have more talent, but
no,
them kids look like they lift weights.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know what's so crazy, G? When I was at Millshouse, we play center up in Kentucky. And
Yeah.
we had to stop in practice because we left at like 4-5 in the morning. We stopped at NBA to practice, and all they shit was better than what we had at Millshouse.
Oh,
so I was
for
like,
sure.
Yeah.
Facts.
That's why you get those pro guys. You got Zach Menberger, Kevin Mawai, Trent Dilfer, I think is back now as OC. You got like at least 6 or 7 national high schools that are led by like former NFL guys. So you're gonna get that level of investment there.
Yeah. But I mean, we've had teams led by former NFL guys here, bro. Like,
I'm saying like right now in the space that the Tennessee high school it's like I said.
Oh no, up there's crazy, but up there's also crazy because you got the fucking Titans right there. So when guys retire or they stop playing football, if they got kids, they're gonna live in Nashville.
Yeah.
So you getting them NFL pedigree kids at a stupid ass high clip. Like, and I ain't trying to make no excuse for it, but that's just what it is. Because when I got offered a job at Lipscomb last year. So I got in the group chat after they offered me the job, and it was the coach receivers. But I got in the group chat and was just telling, the guys in the group chat, like, bro, like the facilities is crazy. Like what they doing education-wise is crazy. And all this shit is centered around a program that has a lot of like former player, like student athletes. Like, and that shit.
Jason College. Listen, we got a college right there.
Right. But I mean on the football side, because like, okay, so you said NBA. NBA setup is really good. Lipscomb setup is not as good as NBA, but the players at Lipscomb looked totally different.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like I met some kids that were in 8th and 9th grade, dog, that looked like a varsity starter in Memphis. Like,
I feel you.
Like body type, like, are you big, but then you also got like some cut. Like you got ripped up 10th graders. I'm like, dog, what grade dude in? Like, he got in the office. He's like, no, he's a rising 9th grader. I'm like, fuck, what?
We learned that shit the hard way for real.
No,
we played. I want to say I can remember my junior or senior year at White Station, but we went up and played. I want to say it was Ravenwood, And anyway, our head coach, I ain't even gonna say his name because it ain't worth saying, but our head coach was like, we can go up there and we can out physical them. We put in, heavy personnel. We called it well. Long story short, we got our ass beat 44-10, woody woo. But, kind of, we only got like, a little time left on this meme, man. Want to wrap this up by asking you, last year, or really over the past 2, 3 years, the 1 and 2 in terms of top receivers in the NFL have been set Chase, Jay Jettas, no debate. Now, as we come into this year, I think that has shifted like with a guy like JSN in the Super Bowl. So to close us out, G, who are your top 3 receivers in the league right now? We can even go top 5 if you want.
I'm always say Mike Evans. Same draft class, like same draft class. He doesn't make it look crazy, but that many thousand, like consecutive 1,000-yard receivers is crazy. Shoot, that's when it gets sticky right here. I'm not. So I like Jamar Chase and Jettas. I like both of them, but they wouldn't be in my top 3. Not mine, because mine is, mine is, mine. So I'm going Mike Evans. Give me Tay Adams too, bro.
Yeah.
Like elder statesman, but he still did it this year, bro. Like
that 5 and in, he get nasty for the tape.
Bro, that 5 and in, bro, like can't. I'm gonna go with a young guy for the last one. Give me Puka, bro.
And that was a name I was hoping to hear because Puka has definitely been him.
So I like I said, I cross-checked Puka, and the thing that I liked about him the most at BYU, like that man literally had film at running back, at H-back, at slot, at Z, at X. Like they had him on some gadget plays. Like I didn't know it was gonna be this early, but I knew he had the potential to be really good because of how much they used him. And it just mattered where he got drafted. And when he got drafted to LA, I'm like, all right, like he gonna have a good career because they gonna use the hell out of him. Like they creative as hell in LA.
Yeah, and kind of as you alluded to earlier with a guy like Fields, playing at that 225, seeing Puka doing all the insert stuff, lead blocking, just being a dog no matter what his role is on the field. Like
highest value, bro. And honestly, if you take the group that I got, you can have a crazy receiver core with that group of 3. And that's why I pick, like if I pick a 5 or pick a 3 or whatever, I in my mind, I'm like, all right, can all 3 of these guys coexist and make an offense good? And if with the 3 I gave, like, cause Evans is already paired with a guy that's like he's not Tay Adams, but Goodwin is, in that same, you know what I mean?
And the Buka coming on too here, yeah.
And then shit with Puka, like Puka don't have to play your X or Z, like he can play your F or your Y or your H, like he gives you so much range. So yeah, them 3 together could probably be crazy. Like crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. Like if you're doing a Madden Ultimate Team, that's your 3 right there, bro. That's your 3.
Double me on Mike Evans.
That's your 3. Mike Evans, Tay Adams, and Puka. That's crazy.
That's legit right there. So G, I just want to say thank you for, taking the time out, come on this pod. I always want to give you your flowers, for all the things you've helped me with, just personally on the field, everything. And shit, just thank you for, what you're doing for the Memphis community and the football community as a whole, man, for real.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. I appreciate you too, bro. I see you got the break on. I gotta get LeGreg be running through the house saying fast break. I gotta get him to do my my audio intro or something. He'd be like, break.
A little producer tag on that. That'd be hard.
Y'all be good, bro. Thank y'all, bro.